Hi everybody, welcome back to Leather and Willow, and today we're going to be discussing the Kolkata Knight Riders in our ongoing series of analyzing the IPL teams for the upcoming season. The idea of this is to give you a very crisp and short analysis of the IPL teams with common questions. Coming to the Kolkata Knight Riders, I have Dr. Siddhartha with me. And before I go into the questions, as always, let me just show you the squad for the Kolkata Knight Riders this season. They have a very colorful jersey and a good mix of colors, I should say. So they have players like Kuldeep Yadav, Lockie Ferguson, Pat Cummins. You have the mystery spinner Varun Chakravarti, and you have Nitish Rana, Dinesh Karthik, and of course Sunil Narayana and Andre Russell are two people that everybody is going to be looking out for. So Sid, coming to you, as always, let me start. Can you tell me who are the strengths of the Kolkata Knight Riders?
I think the Kolkata team's strength lies in the foreign players that they have in both the batting and the bowling departments. So they have Owen Morgan, they have Tom Banton, who's a very dynamic wicketkeeper batsman, who can also probably play for them as a specialist batsman. And in the bowling department, they have Lockie Ferguson, they have Pat Cummins, and of course they have Sunil Narayan, and they also have Andre Russell. So they've got some very good players for specific roles, foreign players for very specific roles, and I think that is the strength of the Kolkata squad.
Okay, and coming to the other side of the coin, as always, what is the weakness of the Kolkata Knight Riders?
The Indian bowling, and yeah, pretty much this is a factor that we see in almost every team that we have reviewed, because you have only four foreigners playing, so the other seven players are going to be uh, very crucial in how you build the composition of your team with your Indian players, especially the domestic players and not the ones necessarily who are regularly part of the Indian international T20 or the one day teams. So the Indian bowling front, apart from Kuldeep Yadav, the other names that you're likely to see in the playing 11 are Kamalesh Nagarkoti, Shivam Mavi, and Sandeep Warrior. Not really guys who have great performances to back their addition into the team. So therefore, I think that the fact that Kolkata has some very good foreign bowlers is going to be their savior. Like I said, they can choose from Lockie Ferguson, Pat Cummins, Andre Russell, and Sunil Narayan are going to definitely do the bulk of their bowling for them.
Okay, and you see that Kolkata Knight Riders does have a lot of youngsters in their team. Can you tell me who's the youngest player and on the other side, the oldest player of the team?
The youngest player is going to be Kamalesh Nagarkoti, upcoming fast bowler. We have seen him play for Kolkata in the last couple of years. And the oldest player in the squad is their captain, Dinesh Karthik, who's 35 years old.
Okay, and actually talking about Dinesh Karthik, we did do an episode on the spirit of cricket debate. Dinesh Karthik did come out a few days ago and say that the spirit of cricket debate shouldn't really exist and the term mankinding shouldn't exist. But if you want to know more on that, you can check out our episode on the spirit of cricket debate. Coming back to the questions, can you tell me who's the domestic star that we should watch out for this year?
I think not just this year, for the next few years to come, somebody who is going to make a big impact in the Indian team, and we're all waiting to watch him play regularly for India, at least I am, is Shubman Gill. And this season, I think he has a very good chance of playing as an opener for throughout the season, because they've let go of Robin Uthappa. So they will definitely open with Gill, and he has shown that he has the big shots for the T20 game. And my guess is they may open with Sunil Narayan and Shubman Gill if they don't play Banton as their opener. So Shubman Gill is the domestic star in the making, and I really hope to see him, because he is definitely one of the guys who will fill in the vacant spots which the likes of the Kohlis and the Rohit Sharmas and the Pujaras and the Rehanes will leave us with in the next few years. So Shubman Gill is to be watched out for.
I agree with you on that. In fact, Brendan McCullum did come out a few days ago and said that Shubman Gill is going to be part of the Kolkata Knight Riders leadership group this year. So let's see how that works out as well. And of course, can you tell me who is the aged horse for the Kolkata Knight Riders?
I'm going to go with Andre Russell, because we've seen in the past that he's a very impactful player. He can change the course of the whole game in a matter of 10 balls. That's all he needs. We know he can clear any ground with the kind of muscle power that he has. But given that these will be very sapping conditions, very hot and humid conditions in Dubai, I'm not too sure if how fit he has been, and we know that he has been one of those guys who has played even if he has just been seen limping on the field. So my guess is Andre Russell is the aged horse of the Kolkata team. They're not likely to drop him. They're likely to play him simply because of the kind of impact that he can have in a very small, brief period of time in the game. But yeah, probably an aging horse, if not an aged horse.
Okay, and who's the wildcard pick for you?
I'm going to go with Sunil Narayan. Again, I know probably a contender for the aged horse category, but because of his spin, which can be quite a handful in the conditions that we're expecting to see. We've said this before, we're expecting the wickets to assist spin. And also, I have a feeling that they're going to play him as an opener. Of course, he has played in many positions in the Kolkata 11, but he might be one of those pinch hitter openers who have been very successful for them in the past. So he might have an impact with both bat and ball.
Okay, and we've spoken about both Russell and Narayan making it to the 11 for sure. Can you tell me who are going to be the other two foreigners who make it into the 11 this year? Most likely to make it into the 11.
So like I said, it's most likely to be Russell and Narayan, two foreigners, and the other two I think would definitely be Pat Cummins, and they will go with Owen Morgan, because Owen Morgan is a left-hander in the middle of the order. He can be a finisher. He's got some big shots. He's pretty much like an ABD, right? He's a 360 player and very safe pair of hands as well. So he gives a lot of support to somebody like a Dinesh Karthik in the middle order. He can be very useful. He could even float right from number 3 to number 6. He could just float anywhere. So Owen Morgan and Pat Cummins as their pacer to lead the attack.
Okay, let's see how that goes. And coming to the penultimate question, my favorite question after all, can you tell me the drinks boys for this season for the KKR?
The drinks boy is likely to be Nikhil Nayak, who's a wicketkeeper by his designation, but with Dinesh Karthik and Tom Banton already in the team, I'm not quite sure if he's going to figure. The unknown, unheard, unseen member of the team is M. Siddhartha. I couldn't find much about him when I tried to look up.
Okay, and the last question for the day, this I'm very excited to know because there are a lot of contenders for this spot. Who is going to be your player who you think is going to have the maximum impact for the KKR this year?
I'm going to go with Owen Morgan because he's just the kind of player that he is, and the kind of it's very likely they're going to expect Morgan to do a bulk of the scoring with guys like Gill and Narayan on top and Dinesh Karthik. Probably Nitish Rana and Morgan will be the middle order, following which you'll have Andre Russell coming in. So I think Owen Morgan has a good chance to make it big in the IPL this year.
Okay, and do you think the conditions are going to have an impact on Morgan's performance, or do you think he is going to be stable in his playing?
He's going to be one of those guys who are going to hit no matter the conditions. That's why I think he's going to be the max impact.
Perfect. So let's watch out for Morgan this season. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful episode today. Stay tuned for our next episode.